Hello everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 battle. This is going to be Heinrich Himmler and his undead versus the Empire. Heinrich Himmler, in his search for KRELL, continues with an army of mostly skeletal spearmen in the front line, including one Sternsman, which is the bodyguard of Heinrich Himmler. We have two puppies and then two necromancers, Stefan and Antonio. Just randomly pick names. So you have Stefan and Antonio, and they come with Invocation of Nehek and Raise Dead, and then just Raise Dead over here, and then Heinrich Himmler has Invocation of Nehek. Now, I have talked bad about Raise Dead before, but it's Heinrich Himmler, and I said if I was to take Raise Dead, it'd probably just be with him because he needs all the help he can get, which is definitely true. And Raise Dead on a hero that is not mobile, like on a horse, especially on a flying mount, is not as deadly as it would be otherwise. Over here on the flanks, we also have two Blood Knights, the Dire Pack, and then a group of Fellbats. For the Empire, we have two cannons currently firing at me. We have a lot of ranged here. Two crossbows, three handgunners, one of which are these silver bullets, a front line of spearmen, a light wizard, two Empire captains who are flying, and then a general of the Empire and one swordsman back here. Then we also have a group of Demigryph Knights with halberds. So the idea with the Dire Pack and the Fellbats was the Fellbats are supposed to intercept the Demigryph Knights, and then the Dire Pack will jump on them along with the Blood Knights. Well, I mean, they're supposed to intercept whatever cav the enemy had. In this case, they have Demigryph Knights with halberds, and then everything else pounces on them and kills them, while the skeletons and their puppy buddies are going to be taking out the main position here. So right here, it looked like the enemy's Demigryph Knights are going to engage us at about right here, so I wanted to actually pull them over here behind this rock, because I knew that the cannons were facing our Blood Knights, and I would rather have them shooting into the rock, which is what happens here, kinda? There we go. So that's going to hit the rock, and so I wanted to pull them back over here, but they do retreat, which is a good idea. So I'm going to have to just kind of charge around and take a couple hits from the cannon. Meanwhile, the crossbows are going to start firing, and the gunners are going to start firing here very soon. Now, very shortly, I am going to start casting Raise Dead. And it's very easy to, I don't know about countering necessarily, but all you have to do, actually I did it an episode or two ago when I was playing as the Empire. So when the enemy army got close to me, all I did was withdraw a safe distance with my ranged units, so like a line right here, and then the Raise Dead could be summoned on top of me. This player is not going to do that. But if you are fighting a vampire army and they don't have any mounted soldiers, oh, this is gonna move though, they do hit me with a net, then you should really just pull back your forces a little bit so you can't get summoned undead on top of you. So what was your name? I forget his name, but this necromancer is going to start raising dead on these crossbows and the handgunners because they are within range. Raise Dead is a very short spell, a short range spell, but if you stay that close to the front line, then you're going to get with it. Meanwhile, over here, the Demigryph Knights and their hero squad is chasing my Blood Knights, and I wanted to try and pin them down with the Fellbats, and now we're running the Dire Pack into them, and I was supposed to turn around and charge the Blood Knights, but right now I'm micromanaging other things. I think I'm micromanaging the puppies and making sure that when the neck went down, I was going to be able to charge again, which, there we go. Meanwhile, over here, one of my puppies are dealing with an Empire Captain. I think I pulled him, yeah, I pulled him back over towards the Great Cannons. I have summoned two Skeletal Warriors at this point with the other Necromancer. Now Heinrich Himmler is going to get in here. I had this puppy go right past everybody into the cannons and to the handgunners. Meanwhile, back here, the Demigryph Knights are continuing to chase our Blood Knights, and I'm just continually harassing them with the Fellbats and the Dire Pack. So they've taken a lot of damage from those, and now I'm going to turn around and charge the Demigryph Knights now that they are fighting my Fellbats. Meanwhile, this secondary Blood Knight is going to go over here, rear charge his cannon, and try and get into the ranged forces, of which you can see some are terrified. We are breaking through the front line already. I've cast Invocation of Nehek once or twice with a Heinrich Himmler and then this Necromancer over here. Again, over here, we have now charged the Blood Knights. There's my second Invocation of Nehek. We have cast that on them to keep them up in the battle, and I'm trying to deal with these Demigryph Knights who are about to rout due to just losses, and I'm going to have the Dire Pack chase them off the battlefield that way. Then the Fellbats and the Blood Knights are going to go join my army over here. Speaking of, my secondary Blood Knight group has routed the cannon crew and is now taking damage from the General of the Empire, so we're going to be running the puppies over here to try and assist them as a summoned Skeletal Warrior is chasing a terrified group of handgunners. This Necromancer, I think, got an attack order on the crossbow, and I don't know what happened to him after that. So we're going to have a second net here, another good net to try and keep us from these silver bullets, but our Blood Knights, for whatever reason, are still moving a little bit, so that's kind of weird. And now the other Blood Knight group should be, yeah, here they come. Them and the Fellbats are coming over here now that they've dealt with the Empire Captain, made him rout, and again, those Demigryph Knights are being routed off by the Dire Pack. Heinrich Himmler is down here dealing with an Empire Captain along with the Sternsman, who I believe I'm going to run. Actually, I don't know what to do with the Sternsman, I can't remember. But maybe I guess give an order to charge the General of the Empire, I guess. Meanwhile, back here, the ranged forces came back from routing, so they're starting to fire into our position, so I'm going to have to descend upon them with the Fellbats. You can see my Blood Knight group is here going to charge this group of handgunners because they are the biggest threat to my other Blood Knights. And then this Blood Knight group is, I think, going to charge the Silver Bullets, or maybe the Zombie is going to charge the Silver Bullets. I can't remember which. One of those two is going to charge the Silver Bullets. And meanwhile, yeah, so my Sternsmen are dealing with the General of the Empire. The puppies are now dealing with the Empire Captain that was giving me some trouble as Heinrich Himmler. And then I think all three of these are going to go after the General of the Empire. And our Skeletal Warriors are just down here kind of just dying and killing Spearmen, slowly but surely. And then that is going to be when I believe the player left the game. Well, I gave up at that point, conceded. They didn't really have much left. I still had 2 Blood Knights on the field. I had 2 puppies. I had Heinrich Himmler. And it was just a whole bunch of nastiness. So over here, well, let's go to the kill screen. But my 2 Blood Knights were able to kind of kite their Demigryph Knights a lot. And the Demigryph Knights got a lot of free damage dealt to them by these puppies and the Fellbats. So by the time that my Blood Knights actually did engage the Demigryph Knights, they were kind of crushed very quickly just due to the amount of damage the Dire Pack did to them. Although I did incur some damage as well from the Demigryph Knights. But the difference is I can heal my Blood Knights. The enemy didn't bring a Jade Wizard, so they can't heal their Demigryph Knights. So, like, their Demigryph Knight unit is more important than just one of my Blood Knights in a way. So my Blood Knights did really well. They kited and then killed them and then went after the Gunners. The Sternsmen just crushed through the Spearmen because they were Spearmen. And then they assist against the General of the Empire. The Necromancers got a couple kills, although most of the time I try to keep them out of battle for their Master of the Dead trait to kind of proc and just be a regeneration platform that can summon Raise Dead or Invocation Heck or whatever I need them to. Heinrich Himmler fought some Spearmen and then fought an Empire Captain. He honestly didn't get to do too much because he was netted early on in the battle, so he didn't really get to do that much. Puppies were the puppies. They charged in, they disrupted, they killed cannons, they did all right. Let's see, General of the Empire, 28 kills is pretty good. The Empire Captains, one were facing my Blood Knights alone for the most part, so they got kind of destroyed. And the other one was fighting Heinrich Himmler, and I think Heinrich Himmler and the Sternsmen were able to, and the puppies were able to rout off the second one. Spearmen got a lot of kills against my Skeletal Warriors. These Crosswomen did pretty good, but I kept the pressure on the Handgunners. And again, this may have been a slightly different battle if the enemy just withdrew the 3 riflemen and the crossbowmen just a little bit, like not even that much, just enough so that I can't Raise Dead right on top of them. And then they could have had the swordsman that was also in the back, who got 61 kills, by the way, which is really good. They could have had them run interference. They could have been running interference with the Empire Captains on any Raise Dead that I casted, as well as the General of the Empire. But the thing is, the General and this guy were chasing my Blood Knights, leaving only this guy back at the in the backfield. So this could have been a different battle, but you know, I just wanted to show this to try and stress, like, Raise Dead is a crappy spell to fight against. It can be, but if you're fighting against most likely Vav von Karstein, then all you got to do is just pull back your troops, and they can actually do something at that point. Don't just keep them butt up against the front line, because they're just going to get, well, they're going to get skeletons and zombies summoned on top of them. So yeah, whenever you face off against the Vampire Count army, make sure you have forces in the back to protect against Raise Dead, and again, keep your ranged away from them. But again, good game to Polski Pancerny? We'll call you Pole. Good game to Pole. Hope you enjoyed a quick Heinrich Himmler game in his search for KRELL. Unfortunately, he was not to be found in the Empire Army. And now let's watch a cinematic view. These cannons did eventually get some decent damage in on my Blood Knights, but unfortunately the puppies just kind of shut them down pretty quickly in this battle. Also, this hill probably made for some troubleshooting. I didn't realize they had this giant kind of like hill in front of them. Kind of worked in my favor, I think. But yeah, the puppies, they don't care about infantry at all. They can just run right through them, no problem. I still don't understand why I almost never see Varghulfs in multiplayer matches, like enemy Vampire Count players bringing them. I still don't really see them that often. I think they're one of the best units that they have. I'm assuming what happens is that people just kind of run the puppies in by themselves, unsupported and in dangerous situations, and the low leadership of the puppies eventually just makes them crumble, and they probably like, you know, F this unit, it sucks, this low leadership is terrible. Which it does suck that it has low leadership. It's just you gotta use them correctly. You know, you just gotta, I don't know, you gotta love them, and then they'll do work for you. It upsets me. I still don't see Varghulfs that often. This is a good net. But these ranged units are just too close to the front line. Also, it looks like the cannon is oh, you know what? It probably is obstructed because it's so close to the other units. Oh, man. No wonder it didn't really get many kills. But like right here, my puppy was losing a lot of its leadership because it was 1v1ing an Empire captain, and that's why I'm going to pull it over to the cannon. You gotta just do some micro for Vargals, but man, they can do so much work. Meanwhile, over here, Fellbats and Dire Wolves are just chewing on the ankles of the Demigryph Knights, who are ignoring them for the most part. You can't really ignore the Dire Pack. They may not have armor piercing, but the bonus versus large is going to get you. Although the Demigryph Knights did kill some of my Blood Knights. But again, I have Invocation of the Heck. Here's good old Kimmler. He had to check the barrels of the cannon and see if KRELL was hiding in them. What? No. That light wizard did not just knock down the puppy. What? What? Is that what happened there? That light wizard is the strongest fucking caster in this game. What the hell? There come the puppies to save KRELL. Or Heinrich. I always call him KRELL. Satisfied that KRELL was not hiding in the cannons, Heinrich is going to go over here and talk to the general. Oh, well, he would have had this lasted just a little bit longer. But yes, that's going to do another Heinrich Kimmler battle. I love Heinrich. I think he's almost absolute garbage, but for some reason I like him, and I don't even know why. I have no idea why, but he is pretty much garbage compared to the other vampire count leaders in this game. And again, hope you enjoyed, everybody. I will see you all next time. Take care.